scope. In this video, I am going to explain you regarding scope baseline, how to create scope baseline, how to create WBS Dictionary, how to collect the requirement, what is requirement documentation, requirement traceability matrix, each and everything I will explain you regarding scope. First, let's start need assessment, business case, benefit management plan, project charter, then execution, monitoring and control, then closing, then operation, and one day it will terminate it. This is product life cycle, and project will start from here. PMP scope will start from project charter up to closing. Product life cycle is a very bigger thing, and project life cycle is a small. That is the subdivision of the product. This is project life cycle. Then requirement management plan. Requirement management plan will tell us how to collect the requirements. There is so many tools and technique we are using to collect the requirements, and these tools and techniques are very important because these tools and technique we are using in so many other area in the project life cycle. First, we always go to expert. Number one, we will always go to experts and ask them what is the requirement for this project. When 8 to 12 experts are there, we will call focus group. When 8 to 12 experts are there and they will discuss on a topic, we will call focus group. We will call focus group. And this is very structured conversation, and the focus group led by a facilitator or trainer. Inside focus group there is brainstorming. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming is an idea generation technique. When storm in the brain, we will get idea. It's mean idea generation technique, brainstorming. There is affinity estimation. Affinity diagram. We classify those idea in affinity diagram. We will take a sticky note and put their idea. We will put idea randomly. There is no ordering them. Under one heading or two heading, we will separate that requirements or that idea. Then there is when expert are more than 8 to 12, we call facilitated workshop. Facilitated workshop we use also collect the requirements. Then prototype. We make a prototype and give to the sponsor, and we will check, identify the requirement. Prototype mostly we use in quality, but we can use here also to identify the requirement. Then checklist. We will check checklist, these requirements are available or not. If available, tick OK. If available, tick OK. Tick OK. Then we will use check sheet. Check sheet we collect. We already collected the requirement and we will count 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Check sheet will use for counting. And benchmarking. Benchmarking we also use. Mostly we will use in the quality, but we can use here also to adopt the best requirement. To adopt the best requirement. When there is audience are large and we will get the requirement very soon, we will use questionnaire and survey. We will give them, write the question on paper and give them, and like this we will get the requirements very soon. And interview, we use interview to confidential information out from the people. We use interview. And then context diagram. Text diagram is a visual depiction of the process. I will give you example of ATM. That is very good example for context diagram. ATM. We will put the money inside ATM and we will get the money from the ATM. And also ATM will give us a bank statement. ATM connected to internet and ATM connected to the server of bank server, and also ATM connected to the government server. And next one is a voting. We are using voting a lot. In so many other areas we are using a voting. 4 types are voting. I will explain you here. There is C group, A, B, C, and 10 people to vote. When all 10 people vote on one side, we call unanimity or unanimous decision. Then next one is majority. 10 people to vote there. When 6 people vote on A and 2 people vote on B and 2 people vote on C. When more than 50% people vote on one side, we call majority. And when 4 people vote on here, 3 people vote on B, 3 people vote on C, we cannot get more than majority, but at least we will get more people on one side, we call polarity. When more people vote on one side, we call polarity. And the fourth one is very interesting, that is called autocratic. There is one boss and boss will take decision from complete group. 10 people vote here, boss will take decision from one group and we will call autocratic or dictatorship. And other technique I will explain you, nominal group technique. Nominal group technique. This is basically 4 tools and technique are using inside the nominal group technique. Focus group came, they generate idea in brainstorming and we classify those idea in affinity diagram and then rank those idea using a voting. Then rank those idea, we will use a voting. Nominal group technique is a combination of 4 tools and technique. Focus group came, they generate idea in brainstorming and we classify those idea in affinity diagram and then we vote those idea using voting. These all are tool or technique which we are using in to collect the requirements. We will collect all the requirement and put in the requirement documentation. Requirement documentation. Functional requirement, non-functional requirement, transition requirement, solution requirements, stakeholder requirement, quality requirements. We will gather all the requirements in the requirement documentation. Then requirement RTM, requirement traceability matrix. We will make an Excel sheet and put the who submitted the requirements, then who is the owner of the requirement and what is the status of the requirements and how we will check the linkage from start till end, the requirements. This is the requirement traceability matrix. Then we will filter the requirements. We'll put all the requirements, the function requirement, non-function requirement, solution requirement, transition requirement, business requirements, stakeholder requirements, quality requirements, all the requirements. And then we will filter these requirements to separate the product requirement and project requirement. I will make a funnel here. We will put all the requirements here. Then filter out these requirements, and we will use a filter here, and I will call more of a Moscow, and then we use the Moscow must have, should have, could have, would likely to have, to get the requirement separate, product requirement, project requirement, and we will put these requirements into a document we call project scope statement. This is a very important document. Inside our project scope statement, assumption, constraint, what we are going to do, what we are not going to do, all the things are mentioned in project scope statement. And there is big difference between project charter and project scope statement. In project charter, there is only one line is given. We will make a house 200 square feet. But here we will make a house 200 square feet having 4 rooms, 2 washrooms, how much kitchens are there, and which tile we are using. Also, the color of the tile should be mentioned in the project scope statement. Each and everything regarding scope in detail mentioned in the project scope statement. Then we will make, I will tell you how to decompose the deliverable. Deliverable. I will take example of hydropower plant. Hydropower plant. In this we will use civil work, plumbing, electrical work, mechanical work, HVAC. Then we divide further mechanical work in penstock, gates, turbine. Then decompose further, gates, radial gates, stop log, ruler gate, slide gate, like that. Then further I will decompose radial gate, fabrication, welding, and then I will decompose welding more. In welding we will do inspection, NDT will come here, then divide further in NDT, VT, MT, PT, UT, RT, like that. Then I will give a number. This is 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 and 1.5. Then this is 1.1, 1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3. This is further divide 1.1.2.1, 1.1.2.2, 1.1.2.3, 1.1.2.4. These number 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 we call code of account. Called code of account. And this highest level is called management account. Some are called control account, some are called management account. Control account or management account. And lowest package is called work package. Lowest package is called work package. In between, we will call a planning package. Mostly planning team are dealing with this planning package. Highest will call management account or control account. Lowest will call work package, and in between will call a planning package. And thumb rule of planning package is effort should not be less than 8 hours and should not be more than 80 hours. This is thumb rule of work package. Effort should not less than 80 hours and should not more than effort should not less than 8 hours and should not more than 80 hours. And thumb rule of WBS, whole structure we will call work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure. And thumb rule of work breakdown structure is when we add from bottom to top, we should get 100% work. When we add from bottom to top, we should get 100% work. If I will tell you, you will go and work on 1.3 or 1.1.2, you don't know what is the meaning of this. In order to understand these things, we have work breakdown structure dictionary. Work breakdown structure dictionary. Each and everything, all the details regarding WBS mentioned in the work breakdown structure dictionary. Now we have 3 documents in our hand: project scope statement, work breakdown structure, and work breakdown structure dictionary. Combination of these 3 we call scope baseline. Combination of these 3 we call scope baseline. Scope baseline project scope baseline. We got scope baseline. Scope baseline will submit to sponsor client. When we will get approval of scope baseline, after that we should not add anything or we should not remove anything from the scope baseline. This is very important documents. When we got approval from the sponsor, after that we should not remove anything or we should not add anything. After, some students are asking regarding, they having confusion regarding the scope creep and gold plating. I will explain. Scope creep. What is scope creep? When client will add or client does add in the scope baseline without going to change control mode, that is called scope creep. When client will add or client does add anything in the scope baseline without going to change control board, we call scope creep. If client want to add or remove anything, he should submit a formal request to CCB and they will do a detailed impact analysis. After that, they will remove or they will accept or reject the request. It will depend on the CCB. What is gold plating? When we will give an extra feature to client without asking the client. We will give extra feature to client. Client is not asking, but we are giving an extra feature. That is called gold plating. That is called gold plating. Now, I will explain you a journey of deliverable. Deliverable will execute during execution and then it goes to control quality, CQ. CQ means control quality. Here quality team will inspect the deliverable according to quality management plan. Here quality team will inspect the deliverable according to quality management plan. If they says it is okay, we get verified deliverable. If quality team inspect and they say it is okay, we get verified deliverable. If quality team reject, then we raise change request and there is preventive action, corrective action, defect repair. Validate deliverable, move to validate scope. And here client will inspect the deliverable according to scope baseline. Here client will inspect the deliverable according to scope baseline, and if they says it is okay, then deliverable validate deliverable, then we get validate deliverable or accepted deliverable. If client reject the deliverable, then we raise change request and there is preventive action, corrective action, defect repair. I think now you have cleared each and everything regarding scope baseline, how to collect the requirement, how to make requirement documentation, how to make RTM requirement traceability metric, and how to create scope baseline. Scope baseline will create with the help of the work breakdown structure dictionary, and project scope statement. After that, I already explained you the scope creep, gold plating, and how the deliverable will move during the whole project. If you have already done PMP, that is good. If you want to do PMP within minimum possible time, then I have a two program. One is one-on-one session, and the fee for one-on-one session is $599, and one-on-one session will customize according to your requirements. And there is other program is batch program, and the fee for batch program is $349.